game, but he would have known big match either way. And he'll be ready. There we go. E4 to start this one off.
Simon, your thoughts on the body language there?
Well, back to the expert on body language, as always. And they're both quite cagey. Their hands are hiding something, maybe hiding their preparation. But you see that Wesley's hand is a little bit lower.
Oh.
And there you go, the first surprise. Wesley, head in his hands, a little laugh. He's clearly shocked there. And it's 1-0 to
Nodirbek with a little smile as well.
Let's talk about why. Let's talk about why. If anyone missed Nodirbek's demolishing of Levon Aronian, shame on you. You should check it out. But he played a dubious opening that Nodirbek himself said. Remember, guys, that he's like, look, that opening's objectively lost for White. No, meaning what he did, but he crushed Aronian. Now he's playing another opening that is objectively dubious. We weren't wrong in terms of how we evaluated it, but it's full of traps and full of tricks. And Wesley's like, you saw the reaction. He's like, oh, crap, here we go. Like, what has this kid got in store with some sort of magical preparation?
Love it.
We talked about the English opening, the Dutch defense, the French. This is the Portuguese opening, and you nearly never hear about it because it's so rare. It hits thin air, this bishop.
I love that he's...
And Wesley doesn't stop reacting.
He's laughing.
He's laughing. He can't believe this move. It's usually played on the third move, but this time on the second move. Is this psychological warfare by Nodirbek?
I mean, this is like the drunken Raul Lopez, isn't it? It's like you've played it on the wrong move. It's like, oh, hang on, I haven't got my night out yet. What have I done? It's the kind of thing, you know, 10-point Raul Lopez.
How many times have you played the drunken Raul Lopez?
I've never played Raul Lopez, actually, which is weird, but I've done the other thing very well over the course of my life.
So what happened after the Portuguese Opening, which was played by Abdusattorov? I think for the first time at the top level, against Wesley So. Here, Wesley reacted with c6, the best move, and after bishop a4, he played d5, again the best move. So black has a tiny advantage already in the opening. Queen f3 was played by Abdusattorov, and here Wesley took, and the tiny advantage is gone. So Wesley's options were queen a5 and knight f6. Both were good options, but he decided to take it to the endgame. Now knight takes, and now knight d7. He is preparing knight c5. Castles, he plays e4. And after rook e1, the pawn's hanging. But then bishop e7. If you take the pawn, there is knight c5. The rook will be slightly stuck on the fourth rank, defending the bishop, and the white's other pieces are not developed. So Wesley is planning knight c5, so which is why Abdusattorov just plays knight d4, sidestepping it. Knight c5 anyway, knight c3, bishop d7, b4. Now takes, and the pawn is still hanging. The pawn on e4 is still hanging. Wesley is offering it for free. And this time, Nodirbek takes it. Now the best move here for black, for Wesley, was c5. Unleashing an attack on the knight. This looks very good, right? Pawn to c5. If you just explore that line, best move for white would be just to give up a knight. Give up a knight for 2 pawns. So takes, and takes. And how is this position? It's better for black. How many pawns? 3 pawns for the piece. So Wesley considered this, and here rook c8 would be okay for him. Bishop will come out. There will be some pressure. But he did not go for this. He did not go for c5. He just plays castles. And now white has a decent advantage. White plays bishop f2, bishop b2. And after f5, rook comes back, bishop f6, and now c4. Here Nodirbek should have just played knight f3 and kept everything together. Bishop takes bishop, knight takes back, and pieces are all good. But he goes for c4. And now Wesley plays c5. Knight b5. If you go a6, there is knight takes b6. So can't do that. So bishop takes, pawn takes, and Wesley is now getting back the pawn. So material is now even. Rook check, king d7, rook c4, and rook takes d2. Rook takes b4. Pawns have been exchanged, so material is even, and the position is now also completely equal. Because one more exchange is bound to happen. The bishop and bishop getting exchanged. So Nodirbek goes for h4, bishop takes, and now knight f6, knight c4, rook to e8, takes and takes. And we have this very dry endgame where white can maybe slightly claim an advantage because of the pawn controlling these squares and the knight being a bit more active. And you could also make an argument for the rook being active. But black rook can jump to d2 if the knight moves. Knight e3, and now g6 defending the pawn. A4, knight c7, king h2, and knight e6. Completely equal still. Rook c4, rook d2, rook c6, attacking the knight. Rook moves back. Rook f6, f2 pawn is gone, but he will get the h pawn. So things are becoming a bit intense right now. It's becoming complicated, dynamic. Rook d2, and here he goes knight c4, attacking the rook, but rook d4 attacking the knight back. Knight move. So what should Nodirbek have done? He should have directly gone for rook h8, and after rook d7, just go g4. And if takes, knight takes, again the position is pretty even because black's rook is stuck there, defending this pawn. He goes knight c4, rook d4, knight moves, and now the h pawn is gone. So it's a lot of pawns now. 2 pawns up for black, for Wesley. King g3, rook comes back, and rook h8. And here, this was a interesting move. So basically, after rook h4, rook moves, he had to go for rook takes knight. Rook takes, and rook d7, it was still completely equal. Right? White's king is active enough, and the pawns are going to slightly be weak. G6 pawn. But for some reason, probably the reason was time to build, but it was a sort of brain fade moment. He directly went for rook h8. And now rook takes, it's a loss of tempo. And black just defends the pawn. It's 2 pawns up for Wesley So. So big moment there. King f4, but just rook check, king moves, rook takes. 4 pawns up. H pawn will fall, but that is not going to be a problem because now the b pawn is passed and it's coming up. And here, Nodirbek resigned. That was a smooth victory towards the end for Wesley. The big moment was right here after rook h8. I mean, rook h8 was a blunder. I mean, it was a first game of the match, and he should have just gone for this, which was even. Let us see that moment where he actually played this blunder, rook h8.
Yeah, because h4 and a4. Now at this point, you might lose too many pawns, even if you do win the knight.
Wow.
Take the second one, Wesley. You can take one with check. There we go.
It's a lot of pawns.
Oh no, rook e4. Oh, it's falling apart for Nodirbek.
Nodirbek, he reacts. He missed it.
How did he pre-move? Why did he
Pre-moved rook h8. He thought black's rook was going back to d4 to defend the black knight.
Oh my God, that's just, honestly, that's a mistake of youth. You got to call it what it is. You just can't pre-move in these scenarios.
Yeah.
Now it's a hopeless position, just about to be 3 pawns down.
Yeah, it's over. This is an easy rook endgame.
And it's a win with the black pieces as well, which is
That's huge.
which is massive, massive. Yeah.
Magnus Carlsen won with the black pieces against both Fabi and Nodirbek. If Wesley starts with a win with black, these are hard situations to overcome.
Wow. And that's 3 extra pawns for Wesley. So he's also up on the clock, and Nodirbek there, he knows that this is all over. But it's a good idea for him to continue, not just to fight it out, but also to just calm down the nerves before that must-win game.
Again, the nerves got to him. That was why, but just,
It's time.
We know.
It's time.
You got to get your laptop out of the way if you're going to do that.
Sorry, Danny. I'm learning. I'm
Speaking
learning.
for the producers here, man.
And are we doing the drinking game? And with water, of
Come on,
course.
with water, of course. Come on.
No, but
Just resign, and it happens.
back to the
There
point.
we go.
Nodirbek does just resign, and with that win, Wesley So takes the lead in the match. What a fight this was, and now Nodirbek in a must-win final game of the Rapid. Disappointed there. It started with a bang, but it turned around for him, and Wesley keeping it solid and striking when the opportunity comes to him. He got the job done, David.
He got the job done. It wasn't smooth, but he reacted very well to an opening surprise there, Wesley, and it was here that he clinched the win after a really topsy-turvy game. White has sacrificed a pawn, and Nodirbek lost the thread in time pressure by playing knight to c4. Instead, he could have played a move such as rook h8, forcing the black rook to go passive, or he could have pushed Harry the h-pawn for glory, but instead, knight to c4, and this is where it fell apart. Black's rook attacked this knight, he jumped forward, another pawn fell with check, but this was the fatal moment. He pre-moved, he assumed the black rook would go back to d4, defending this knight, and so he wanted to bring his rook to h8. Instead, however, clever move by Wesley So, attacking the white knight, and the fatal pre-move. Rook to h8, dropping that knight, losing a whole move, and of course, this endgame was hopeless. Wesley takes the win.
Wesley So, fantastic technique and nerves of steel, which in this losers final